All right. How's it going, folks? Let's before we get started on the CAD practice, I want to try showing something else. This is some stuff that I have affiliate links for in the description. Um, can't save you any money, and I don't make much off of it, 2 or 3%. I'm not actually an affiliate, but I applied, and if I don't sell 3 things, I'll get denied or whatever. But these are $70 there. You can save money if you get them at White Mountain, I think. But the Vostede mink, um, got a link in the description for that. I'll probably sell this one on Discord because I have a couple US made fixies that are all I need for that. This camera is not very good. This is a wired lapel mic, and I haven't used this for streaming yet, but I use this for making my shorts, and I use it with my iPhone. Sorry if the volume's not good. The microphone's way over here. Let me try to get that better. But I have a link for this. It's like 24, 25 bucks, I think, in the description. And also, this is an adapter so that if you buy one of these, no matter which one you buy, if you buy this or a different one, make sure you get TRRS, the tip, ring, sleeve, if you're using an iPhone. If it just has the 2 rings, it's not going to work very well. And I also just bought a couple of these, and I have the link in there for these. This adapter so you can plug in a charger and use the headphone jack on your iPhone with Lightning. That's if you have an older iPhone with Lightning connection instead of USB-C. There are probably better solutions for USB-C. This is a CRKT. I have a link for that. This driver is awesome. It comes with bits, and they just attach in there. I like this one, but I also put a link for the Weehaw. It's only 14 bucks. I think this is 30 something. But either way, even if you get something like this fancy one, these are nice. These are cool. You want a big one. You want a short, stubby, big one for if you really need to get some torque. This is what you want. The Weehaw one is probably excellent. I have a link in the description for these Weehaw bits. And I got this because not only spare 6 and 8, but you got like T20 and T15. Some knives use bigger than what these normal drivers come with. This OCD for EDC has a nice set of the 3D printed pivot tools, and it also has the wedge for axis locks. But I kind of like this aluminum, probably made in China. I got a link for that in the description. And it has 2 sizes. It's worked for everything I've tried to use it on so far. I probably will buy an OCD for EC kit just so I get the axis lock wedge. Be nice to have. So anyway, if you're interested, take a look in the description. Check it out. Get that stuff in there. I don't know why this is not letting me remove this from the scene. There we go. Oh, actually, let me add this back. Another thing I wanted to show off. Just some simple things I'm going to give away soon. I don't know when. I may wait till I hit 750 subscribers, or I might just throw it up in a week or two. But it's just a SOG from the Knife Rights organization. It's a Diverge XR folding knife, red. And they all came open, probably because they had to take them out and do their engraving on there. I don't know. Probably isn't showing up very well. But A Sharper Future, Knife Rights, Free the Knives on the other side. So I'll probably give that away, and maybe this little i3E EOS. Probably give these away in one package, along with some, stickers and stuff from other people's channels. Not sure exactly when I'll do that, but won't be too long. But I just wanted to show those off. And now I'll remove that. Share my CAD practice screen. All right. So now I think today we're going to start on. I'm not muted, am I? No, okay. We're going to start on a fixed blade, and first we're going to do a little setup together. And let me say hi to all of you in chat first. I apologize. I'm not good at this, but good enough. And Henry G and Marco were in early. Thanks for stopping in, fellas. Cliff Brott, hello. Henry G says Jim Cox is going to learn us something, and what I learn you might be how not to do things, but either way, learning is learning, right? Hello, Stacy Bolster Blades. Thanks for stopping by. Knives are life. Hello. Projectiles are sharp. Thanks for coming. Everyone pull up chair. Make yourself comfortable. Howdy, Mick Ranger. Thanks for stopping in. Hello, Kelly. And I think that's everyone. Thanks for stopping in. Let's get started. So what we're going to do is, I think I watched a couple videos, and I think I know how to change the defaults. And we'll start a new part. We're going to start with a folding knife, and we'll start with the blade. And if you look down here, let me turn this banner off. If you look down here in the corner, it has the units, millimeters, grams, and seconds. We don't want that. We want to change it to inches. At least I do. It's just be easier for me for now. You can always change them in the middle of the design. Some softwares, I was just at a place where you couldn't change the units. Once you started something, it had to stay in that unit, like either metric or standard. And it was because of the PLM software is product lifecycle management. There were defaults, and you had to stick with that. I mean, you could work on things in different units, but you couldn't combine them. It wouldn't allow you to mix and match. I couldn't put a metric screw in a part that assembly that had standard parts. Anyway, that was just a pain in the butt. So now this part is in inches, but what we need to do is try to remember. All we want to do is save as. I'll save to this PC. And we want to go find. I want to change it to a template, part template, which is this .prtdot. And right here, this should be saving the template with the units in inches. And an easy way to find out is to start another new part and see if it comes up automatically in inches, and it doesn't. So there goes that idea. Maybe, I don't know if it needs time to propagate, or unless this isn't starting parts from local, maybe I need to save it to SolidWorks, to the cloud. We'll try one more time. Save it to 3D Experience, which is the cloud system. Oh, it didn't ask me. Let's cancel that. Oh, did I save that? Oh, that's what it is. Now I have two templates in there. I'll just have to get rid of one or rename this to part. So this should come up in inches, and it does. So the first thing I usually do is hello, Kathleen Smith. Welcome. And Neil McKenzie. Thanks for stopping in. Let me try to change this. Okay. So I take it you couldn't hear me when I was talking after I removed myself from the scene. I see Gonzo stopped in. Hello, Gonzo. Thanks for stopping in. There. That's better, I think. So anyway, we got our part. We got inches. We have the template, a template saved. First thing I like to do is create a sketch. And we will create it on the front plane. Doesn't matter which plane you orient it on. This might not be the right one, but I usually start on the front plane. What do we want to do here? We'll start with the blade that's kind of, I don't know, not that long, but let's go out about 3 inches, close to it. We can add dimensions later. It's going to be longer than that because I'm going to make it kind of clip point or something. Not a drop point because it's at the center, so maybe a spear point or a clip point. Now we'll put a spline here. Oh, I think I want to. I need something to make this parallel from. We can add dimensions and square that up. That might be a different spline, so this might not work the way I want. Let's undo this. Let's undo this. We want it all to be one piece, or we'll get those weird lines in the extrusion. So here, what I want to do is it's not what I wanted to do. So we'll start over. Zoom to fit. Spline. Start here. Go down here. Go over here. And I think a couple of these, and that should make it. There's got to be a better way to do this, but I just don't know it. This will probably, we'll want this to be some kind of, maybe an arc, 2-point arc between this and this. This is just for fun, so this will work. We'll exit that sketch, and we'll go back and create an extrusion from this. And we'll make it about, what's 3/16 in the fraction? Make a big fat blade. That's too fat. Let's make it 1/8. Let's make it 3/32. No. 5/32. So there we have a blade. And we can go back into sketch and add some dimensions and angles. dimension this to that's not what I wanted to do. Put an angle in there. Put a radius on there. I don't like this. It's not straight. Let's put a dimension on the overall length. At least from the pivot. That's going to be too long. So we'll make it see, it shows us some of the problems we have. So we'll finish that. Get rid of this. Actually, some relationships here I needed to get rid of. We want the tangent. Let's get rid of the radius. Let's try that spline again. Let's go in the Y direction. I have to figure this out. So let's get out of that for a moment. We'll try just an arc here for our spline, rather. Oh, Houston, we have a problem. I need to plug my space mouse in. What did I do with that? Yeah, we don't like that. That's not good. We're going to have to do some practice. We're going to have to do some figuring, people. Mick Ranger is back with a snack. Did you bring enough for everyone, Mick? Let's figure this out. See if we can do this spline from this point. Somehow I want to keep the Z. .64614.934. What if we can change that after we're done? Yeah, see, we don't want that. .64614.934 was it? There we go. That's looking better. So you don't even have to do math in your head. Just remember the coordinates and you can put them in here. Let's see if this one's on the same. 64614.934. There we go. This is much better. Let's finish that spline. Exit this sketch. And now we have no hard lines on the bottom. Extrusion. We do over here because we're mating up the arc in the sketch with the straight lines. And of course we do here where it's natural straight lines. Now we won't want this to be a round arc because the pivot will have to be a little lower than center depending on how we create the handle, but we got a long ways to go before we get there. So actually, let's go ahead and add a pivot hole in there. Actually, let's cancel out of this. So one thing I wanted to do, which I didn't, was show the front plane. Yeah, let's change this extrusion. And we wanted to go on both sides. So we want half and half. So what's a good blade thickness? 0.125. Let's go with an 1/8 inch blade for now. We can always change it later. So we'll make these 0.0625 on one side of the plane and 0.10625 on the other side. That way we have a plane in the center for creating everything equally and for doing the bevels and everything. If that makes sense to everyone. And it should, because I say it should. Cream cheese and marmalade on Hawaiian sweetbread. Ooh-wee. That sounds pretty sweet. I think I need something more salty. Sorry, Luke. Some of us eat that salt. Hopefully your doctor visit went okay. I need to go to the dentist Friday myself for cleaning, routine cleaning, checkup. So, where do we want to go next? Is the 1/8 inch too big? Suppose we could go back to the dimensions. Is this too long? Yeah, that's too long. Oh, so now I'm going to probably mess this up. Let's just get rid of this. Let's do a dimension. Let's see if it'll let me pick this point, and this point. Yeah, we don't want that. Backspace, no. Tab, no. I'm not sure the best way to. How wide is this? Okay, I think I still need to fix. Yeah, that's the problem. Let's copy this. Move it, copy the same thing here. Same thing here. Here we go. Get those all on the same plane. So those are all on the same plane, so this should be a straight line now. This is too much of a belly. Let's modify this. I mean, there's some people like that. That's what the McNeese drop points are like. But I want a little bit more pointy. Just a little bit. And that'll do for now. Might be a little. Let's figure out what we want to lock in here. So we want to lock in from here to here. some dumb dimensions. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. We're going to lock this in yet. So we can modify this. What width do we have here? Let's just get rid of this. Now we can tie these together. If we can make this parallel with this. Tangency. I don't see a parallel. So anyway, I just want to measure this. So let's go to markup and evaluate. Measure from here to here. It's not measuring properly. Must have to pick the points. It's like over 3/4 of an inch. That's too wide. No, that's probably good enough, huh? What do you think? 0.85? Roughly. It's not on the same plane yet. See, this we don't want to do. We want to lock those in somehow. So there. Yeah, let's just put a spline on there for now. We can change it later. We'll have to put some shapes. Actually, let's make it square. Be easier to modify later. Now we can throw a pivot hole in here. On this plane. Did it let me select a plane? Let's see here. Hole type. I don't know how big pivots are. Do we know? Anyone? Because we can always change it later. Let's start with big fat 1/4 inch pivot. On this sketch. So right about there. We want to go through all. Boom. Why did it only go one direction? I think maybe what I need to do is create it on this surface. And why is it doing that? Let's start over. How about that? We'll delete that hole. Okay. Let's go with a hole. 1/4 inch through all. Position. Do one of the following positions. Existing sketch. 3D sketch. If we just pick this, it should go through both. There we go. We can always go measure it up and dimension it to lock it in place somewhere. Now, do we want to use the hole wizard or swept cuts to add a choil, things like that? Or do we want to modify this sketch? I think it's better to add it as a feature. That way, we can move it around. We just want sharpening choil, right? We'll start with that. We'll start there. Guess we could. I want to create a sketch. I'm not sure the best way to create one right in the center of this. Or a little off. Let's go to sketch. Select a plane or existing sketch. Let's exit this for a second. Let's take a look at the global planes. Let's show this. I wonder if we can move this sketch. I guess we'll just create a sketch on this plane. It's a way to offset it. That doesn't do what we want. Sketch. Offset on surface. That's not what we need, but let's see what happens. Nope, it won't even let me select it. Can I offset the selected indices? Offset is too big. Can't reverse it. It's not showing me anything, so it's not working the way I expect it to. 250. Looking like Loot's got some competition here. Yeah, hardly. But he'll have someone scouring his videos to help figure out some of these issues. I'm not sure how he would. He uses Fusion also, so it might be different, but there's probably a similar way. I'm going to create a plane offset from this plane right in this, near the center of this sharpening choil. Inserts a plane into the 3D sketch. First reference this. Oh, I want to go the other way. Is there a reverse direction? Reverse direction right there. It would have bit me, people. It would have bit me if it was a snake. That's pretty close right there. Let's go with this and bada bing, bada boom. So we have a sketch plane. Let's create a sketch. Let's create a triangle. Oh, what happened there? Not sure how much meat you want to leave on there for heat treat, but since this isn't real, this is a fake knife. YouTube. So now we have a cutting sketch. I think. This may not work. Let's modify that sketch a little bit. I'm not even sure that it's on the surface. But it's not letting me exit the sketch. Oh, it's a 3D sketch. Oh, that's not going to work. We need to make that a square. What was I thinking? What happened there? Create a line. From this point, we probably want to go a little further then. This visualization tool up here lets you pick a plane to look at it straight on. I don't know why this is happening. But we want to go at least down to there. This looks like it's already beyond the point. So this should be it. We should be able to cut this out now by going to features, swept cut, and we want to select the sweep profile. So we want to sweep this sketch along this path. At least that's what we're hoping happens here. That way when it gets to here, it doesn't just go straight out and leave more meat here. It'll actually bring this cutting path up along this curve to keep everything the same, which is what we learned on the fixed blade. Rebuild errors. Cannot get a point on the path to start with. Okay. So what we want to do is we need to create a path. So what we can do is go back to the sketch. We have to have a path connected to the sketch. So I guess what we need to do is, I guess we could make this a triangle, but we just have to come out here. So let's get rid of this. Move this to there. Move this. There's got to be a way to do this properly. I could measure that. From here to here needs to be that 0.0625. We want it to be flat on that surface. And that thickness is 0.0625, so let's make sure this one's on that surface too. And dimension this to the plane. Make it 0.0625. Now we're talking. So let's get out of that. Now we need to make a spline that follows this, but starts, we just want to follow this. This doesn't have to be perfect. Because it's cutting away material, but we want it to be close. So I'll add a bunch of close points. Now I'm on the flat. I should be able to just add one here and then over to this. We got to tie these together. Now, if we exit that sketch, exit that 3D sketch, solving it will result in invalid geometry. Closed it though, so what's going on here? Let's see what happens if we try to do a swept cut. Oh, I must not have closed it up here or something maybe. I don't know. So the profile path is not complete. I'm not sure why. Don't see any dark blue. Is my volume still working? Can everyone hear me? Sorry if I'm not paying too much attention to chat. Doesn't look like there's too many people chatting. Not sure if anyone else is streaming right now. Probably. It's been over an hour, so I might take a look at this. Try to figure out what I got going wrong here. So, one thing we didn't do, which you should do a lot more often than this, is save it. Let's call it a folder blade 001. And like I said, if you need any stuff, any of the stuff for streaming or some knife tools, please consider using my affiliate links. Actually, if you're going to buy something from Amazon, I can't give you any discounts, but if you get a hold of me, my email's in my YouTube page profile. I can get you an affiliate link for anything that's on Amazon already, and I get a little credit, and like 2 to 4% usually, and you help the channel out. Also, I wanted to suggest everyone go to your favorite YouTuber channel, especially if they're just over 1,000 subscribers or under it. Either way, look through their saved videos, and if they have less than 100 views on a video, to watch it for a little while. I think you have to watch it for a certain amount of time before it counts. But people trying to get hours to get monetized, the hours don't count until there's over 100 views. So help folks out. Try to get them over 100 views on all their videos. If you're going grocery shopping, go to someone's page and find a playlist on their channel and just hit play and leave autoplay on. Help people get their hours up. I'm not that concerned about it. I don't really care about getting monetized. It would be fun, but don't expect to make a living off of this or anything. And like I said, soon we'll do a giveaway. I don't think I'll wait till 750 subscribers, but I might. It'll just be that stuff I showed earlier. Hope everyone has a good night. I am going to end this now, since we've gone over an hour, and I don't want to interfere with anyone else's streams. So there's that stuff I want to do the giveaway on. Just the i3 EOS and SOG. And I'll probably throw some stickers and stuff in there. Everyone, hope you all have a good day. And I'll see you on someone else's live streams. Talk to you later, Knives Are Life. Thanks for stopping in, everyone. Take care.